Hey, what's up? So there is this interesting crossroads that happens when you're struggling with binge or overeating and you start looking around online for solutions. You come across a lot of coaches and a lot of influencers telling you to stop dieting. So in this video, I want to talk about how to stop dieting and leave the dreaded diet culture, diet world behind without losing control on food and without gaining weight. So for those of you who haven't seen me before, Brittany Brown here, what's up? I've led over, I think our tribe's up to like 110, 120,000 food freedom fighters internationally to really break free of diets, weight, food obsession, binge eating, emotional eating, overeating, all the things that you don't want when you are trying to have a free life where food doesn't hold you back. And I usually do weekly videos. I've been doing a video that releases every Tuesday with our blog for over a year and a half, I would say. And I've been slacking. So this is the first video back into our weekly videos, just to let you know if you've been in our world a while or if you're just getting here, they will come consistently moving forward. I had to focus on fulfillment. We signed over 1,200 women into a challenge, and I had to take care of those women and make sure they were supported. And one of our our coaching director was on maternity leave. We had all this stuff going on, and I just had to pour into our clients and kind of pull back on the content front. But I am back, and I'm so excited about it. So let's talk about the topic today. And the topic is breaking out of that diet cycle without losing control on food, which can lead to weight gain, which a lot of people don't want. And so what I see for a lot of people is they, come across terms like intuitive eating or listening to your body, but they've been in this diet world for so long that when they try intuitive eating or they try listening to their body, nothing really works, or they feel scared and they don't know what to do and they lose control on food and all the things that you don't want when you're trying to break out of the diet cycle. So just a little refresher for anyone that's new. The reason we talk about breaking out of the diet cycle, if you are a binge eater or an overeater, is because dieting create some funky changes in the brain that have you think about food more, have more cravings, feel more compulsive, kind of ride that on track, off track roller coaster. What else does it do? Oh, it makes you less satisfied. You don't feel your hunger fullness cues. You end up eating more and slowing your metabolism down, stressing your body out, gaining more weight, all the things that you don't want, right? So we want to break you out of that cycle and bring you back into connection with yourself. And some coaches out there will tell you just to stop dieting, and what I'll see people do is like go buy all the foods they used to not let themselves have and just kind of stock their pantry, and things would get a little out of control at night when things would get slower around the house, and I don't want that happening to you. So I think there's phases to it, and when there's other pieces of the puzzle besides just the food piece, but I'm going to talk about the food piece first. So step one is just making sure you're eating enough and getting meals in that leave you feeling satisfied, that are not those little mini baby meals, like those little, kind of meals that Cosmopolitan magazine or the trainer at the gym tells you to have to like speed up your metabolism, that are 200 calories each, that you feel like not satiated at all after. No, that doesn't work. And it doesn't speed up your metabolism more. I don't know. Well, I do know where that came from, and I understand where it came from, but it's not true. So, okay, pulling it back, you want to feel satisfied. I'm not talking like an apple and 6 almonds satisfied. I'm talking like warm belly, grounded, like feel good, feel satiated, feel set up to go about your day. And, what I highly recommend is like doing this in a gradual way. So going from skimping carbs to having, carbs and pizza and french fries and all of that, like that could be danger territory, right? So let's say you've been cutting carbs. Why don't we look at the meals you're already having and add some carbs in and round out those meals in a more balanced way? Let's say you're eating carbs, but your portions are small and you're not feeling satisfied. What can we put in to make you feel satisfied? So the first part of the process is getting satisfied and taking steps out of your comfort zone that are a little scary, but not so big that it's gonna send you in binge territory. So what I don't recommend is like, a lot of people binge on peanut butter or chips, right? Don't go out and get all the chips that you binge on and just put them in your house. Maybe your urges would go away over time, but that's a little risky for most. And if you don't have a coach in your corner and a system that you're following and you try that approach, you might binge, overeat, feel scared, and then go back to dieting, which is what we don't want. So I like a more gradual approach, a kind of aggressive, but still gradual approach. I don't like the huge aggressive approach that a lot of people preach in this area, because I think it's important that you slowly rebuild that trust with yourself over time. So let's say we have all the food stuff taken care of, right? You're eating, 3, 4, maybe 5, depending on your schedule, meals a day that leave you feeling satisfied. These meals kind of leave you feeling full and good and satiated and energized for a good 3 hours, ideally around 4 hours, maybe even 5, right? Depending on your schedule, your workouts, what you need. And you're feeling good. You're feeling like you got some variety in. You're feeling like you have the ability to eat some foods that you used to not let yourself have without losing control. Then we have to go in and we need to make sure we are breaking the habitual patterns in the brain, the patterns in the brain. So without going too down a scientific rabbit hole right now, what you do most regularly becomes automatic, right? It's just like if you were running a path through the grass over and over, that path would lay down and that would be the path of least resistance. So most likely you have developed some brain pathways that have been programmed in a really unsupportive way with your food. So, a lot of women, what I see is even though they stop physically dieting, they're still mentally thinking like a dieter. You might have tried this, right? You let go of the physical dieting, but you're feeling guilty and shameful about your eating. You're treating intuitive eating or something like that like a diet. We don't want to fall down that trap. And we also want to break the patterns of the brain that have to do with the binge eating, right? Or the overeating or that compulsive urge. So if you have a compulsive urge or desire to eat, that is telling me that there's something happening, right? You're either survival mode still from the restriction, which we covered a lot of that, or you're just operating in a way that you've been operating for a really long time because your brain's made the connection between whatever's going on or whatever's happening and food. So we have to put the steps in place to break that. And our Beating Binge Eating Blueprint program covers that, the survival mechanisms, and all the stuff I'm just about to talk to you about. It's very important to have a systematic step-by-step way to interrupt those patterns and reprogram the brain to have a different way of relating to food. So what's really cool about this is it's so different than dieting, because dieting, you have to stay on this struggle bus forever. Like you wake up and you willpower your way through and you stick to it, right? When you have shifted the way you relate to food and shifted the way you relate to your body, it is naturally a part of how you operate. You naturally stop when you're satisfied. You naturally choose foods that make you feel good a majority of the time, and you go out and have some pizza or have some fun with your girlfriends or have a birthday dinner with your kids and have some of their treats. That stuff's normal too, but we want to get you to a place where you can do that without losing control on those things. And that's why really understanding the neural networks and the brain patterns and really looking at this from a place of reprogramming yourself is so important, because that takes it from having to like willpower your way through it to knowing, hey, as I shift this, as I do this over and over, this is going to become a part of who I am versus having to white knuckle it. So these are all kind of happening simultaneously, but once we get you out of the survival mode, which is kind of that compulsive pull to food, thinking about food all the time, that kind of stuff, once you're out of there, your body's hunger fullness cues are going to start to come back. Your body's going to start to trust you because you've been feeding it regularly and taking care of it. And when your body trusts you, it doesn't have to yell at you through all these urges and cravings to make you eat. So as your body learns to trust you, it'll start speaking to you in ways like, hey, I'm full. Hi, I'm satisfied. Hey, I'm kind of hungry. Hey, that orange sounds good. Hey, that thing that you think sounds good isn't really what I need, so I need this. Like your body, you'll start to be able to read your body's signals. And this is when you get to move into the phase of really connecting to honoring your body, learning how to operate with your body's cues, learning how to eat in ways that make you feel nourished and alive and make supportive choices. Sometimes the supportive choice is a salad, and many times it isn't, right? Many times it might be a little more balanced, or it might be that fun meal out with your friends that we talked about. There's supporting yourself physically, but also mentally and emotionally too. And I could talk about many more phases, but I'm gonna lump the whole next phase into one little umbrella for you. you gotta do the deeper work. So you don't have to have everything in your life sorted out to heal your relationship with food. In fact, I was a total mess and I was still able to stop binge eating. Like a mess, like no money, lived on my friend's couch, just got out of a horrendously toxic situation, relationship, not good, low self-worth, low self-esteem. I put a lot of my worth in like my appearance and my beauty. Like I had confidence, but I put a lot of my worth in like trying to have this certain appearance and this certain body size and this certain beauty and all of these things, right? So I wasn't by no means healed with my body image and by no means healed with my life when I stopped binge eating. And you don't have to either, but let me tell you, that stuff really helps. And there are limiting beliefs underneath the surface that kind of govern your set point for happiness. There are, ways you react to emotions that govern whether or not you're gonna go to food. And you can break those patterns regardless of fully healing all those things, but doing some of that deeper work to make sure when an emotion arises, you can be with it without escaping. Or to make sure when that limiting belief comes in and tells you that you're not capable or you shouldn't do this thing or you should stay home and isolate with food instead of go out there in the world and go after your dreams or go after the guy or girl that you want or go on the date or go on the fun trip because you're gonna be in an outfit you don't like, when that limiting belief pops up, having the tools to go out and do those things anyway and heal what's happening inside of you so it doesn't hold you back. That is a huge part of finding freedom from the diet cycle, from binge and overeating and so forth. But, you don't have to have that all in order to start the process. Phase 1 and 2, the 2 phases I talked about eating adequately, quieting your survival mechanisms down, and breaking your patterns in the brain that are causing binge and emotional eating, that is literally 90% of this process. And then of course you gotta learn how to listen to and connect to your body too. But that is like the big part of the process. And so big takeaways, so you don't lose control when you try to break out of dieting, is you're gonna read these books that are out there and see these posts and be like, you know what, I can do it. I could go buy all the trigger foods and just shove them in my house and never eat them because I'm done dieting and I can have this food at any time. And let me tell you, unless you broke those patterns in the brain, for some people that might work, and for other people that can create a messy territory. And if you don't have a team of coaches or a system to walk through that you deeply, deeply trust in your core is the answer to find freedom, that route is really scary. If you're doing this from the comfort of your home without getting calculated, systematic help, that route can be a little scary and a little threatening and risky, because when you lose control, you might just go back to dieting and then you'll probably stay on the diet overeat cycle for years, which is what we don't want. So I threw a lot at you in this video today. Welcome back to my brain that pops around 7,000 different areas. I was only gonna give you phase 1 and maybe 2 with this training. But hey, you got it. So here's what you should do next. If you want some help, you don't have to do this alone. And some link someplace around this video, most likely below, there will be a training for you, and that training is gonna go even deeper into really helping you break free from this, helping you feel normal with your struggle, helping you get out of the diet cycle and the binge and the overeating cycle and get to a beautiful place of freedom. So go get that training now. Click like on this video. If you are seeing this on YouTube, click subscribe. If you're jamming out with me on IGTV, make sure you comment. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you took out of this, and let me know what else you want to see on the channel. All right, see you later. Cheers to weekly videos again. I'm super excited to be here with you. The training that I have in the description just below this video, or the link, just click someplace around this, that training is going to be what supports you with getting there.